Hey media students, in this video I'll show you how to use some tools in Photoshop that you can use for the retouching or editing photos assignment. Just a reminder that the directions are posted on Classroom. If you're unsure of what you're supposed to do with some of the repairing or editing photos, look in there. You're also going to need to download some photos to edit or repair, and I have those linked in this Google Drive folder here. So let's jump right into Photoshop and just kind of work through these tools. So the first tool that we're going to go over is the Spot Healing Brush tool. It's on the toolbar here under the eyedropper. It looks like a band-aid with a dotted circle behind it. There are two tools that kind of look the same, the Healing Brush and the Spot Healing Brush tool. But in this video, I'm only going to go over the Spot Healing Brush tool. So we're going to use that one here. And this tool does exactly what its name says. It heals spots, or it gets rid of spots. So in this photo with this girl who has a lot of freckles, this is a pretty good photo to work on for this. What you want to do is take the Spot Healing Brush tool, make sure that the brush is just a little bit bigger than the spot you're trying to fix. So like right here, I'm trying to fix this freckle. And when you click, Photoshop will sample or go around the outside of the brush and figure out what color and texture should go inside here. So we kind of click a little bit, and now that freckle is gone. So we do another one over here. I'm going to make the brush a little smaller. Click, and that freckle is gone. Click, and those freckles are gone. Click, and that freckle's gone. This is a pretty easy tool to use. It works pretty well for spots. The only thing you have to be careful of is if there's a freckle right next to what you're trying to edit. So like right here, see this freckle? If I was trying to get rid of this spot and I got too close to that freckle, some of this freckle will actually end up inside of there. And sometimes I can get that to happen on the screen on demand, and sometimes I can't. The other thing you need to know about all of these repairing tools is that if you make a mistake, like, oh, we're fixing spots here, and I don't like the way it looks, like right here, I messed up the eyes right here. The history brush right here is a good tool to use. Basically, what you can do is you can paint over parts you've made a mistake on, and the photo will go back to this snapshot up here in the history panel. So this is what the photo looked like when I opened it. When I history brush stuff, it goes back to looking like that. So if you really mess something up, or you want another try at something, like again, if you really mess something up, you can use the history brush tool to bring that back without having to start over completely. The next tool we're going to talk about is the patch tool. That's under the Spot Healing Brush tool. You have to click and hold down to find it. The patch tool icon looks like a patch, so it looks like that right there. And this tool actually works, I think it works a little bit backwards than the way most Photoshop tools work. So for this tool here, we're going to patch the grass. So we're going to actually lasso or circle the grass with the patch tool first. And then we're going to move this selection to a good part of grass, like the part of the grass we want to use as a patch. So I'm going to drag it over here. And when I click on that, Photoshop brings that piece of the grass over here and blends it in. This is a pretty good tool for like clouds and people on the beach and like this grass where you want to remove parts. But you have to pay attention to what you're patching. You want to make sure you pick grass that looks like it belongs there. Don't come down here and try and grab that. Photoshop will do its best to blend it in, but that just doesn't look real. So make sure you are trying to patch it with stuff that's in the right perspective and it looks like it belongs there. So the patch tool can be used to patch parts of your photo. Again, I think it works the best for like clouds and the sky, or things on the beach, or things on the ground, or parts where there's grass or leaves. The last tool that we're going to use is probably one of everyone's favorite tools in Photoshop, who's been using it for a long time. It's called the Clone Stamp tool. It's right here. So the Clone Stamp tool, in the name of it, kind of tells you what it's going to do. It's going to clone things or copy it. So for this tool here, again, I'm using the keyboard shortcuts to control how big the brush is. Those are the bracket keys next to P on your keyboard. But you can also come up here and adjust the size over here. So for this brush, you actually need to hold down Alt and tell it where you're going to clone from or sample from first. So I'm going to click up here, and as I paint, I've let go of Alt now, and as I paint, you can see that little plus is showing me where I am cloning or sampling from. So the Clone Stamp tool will clone or sample parts of the photo and move them. You need to be careful when you're using this tool to pay attention to where you are sampling from, because as you move, the sampling point moves too, and watch, you can accidentally, clone parts you don't want. So we'll history brush that back. The other thing you need to pay attention to is that you're not always cloning from the same spot. So when we Photoshop stuff, we don't want to make sure that we're not repeating things over and over again, so we get like glitches in the matrix. So like right here, that little dot, that little divot, it kind of is a giveaway that we're cloning stuff. The other part that you want to pay attention to is that Photoshop does not know you're done cloning until you let go of the mouse. So as I'm painting, as I move down, I'm actually going to get the top of that logo getting painted again, because I haven't finished painting this part. So always work in small steps, always resample a lot, and then you can clone stamp. So these are the three tools: clone stamp, the patch tool, and the spot healing brush tool that you're probably going to use in this assignment to retouch or edit those photos.